שלום לכולם, לי קוראים דרגר ואנחנו משחקים סטנלי פרבל, כמו שאתם רואים. טוב, בואו נתחיל. מי שלא מכיר, המשחק הזה אמור להיות מיינדפאק רציני. בואו נתחיל. End is never the end is never the end is loading. אוקיי.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
סיפור עליי. אני סטנלי.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk.
Okay.
Telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
כל הכבוד לסטנלי.
Was happy.
כל הכבוד לסטנלי, שיהיה שמח.
And then one day something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget.
No.
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong.
Ma.
Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
אוקיי, אני לא רוצה ללכת במשרד. מה אם אני יכול לטפס על דברים? יש לי דרך אני לוחץ על דברים, אבל שום דבר לא זז. טוב, מה לעשות מה שהוא אומר?
All of his co-workers were gone. What
no.
could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference.
אני מנסה למצוא
Did it
משהו.
advance the story in any way?
נחמד מאוד,
No
נחמד.
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
למה אין פה אף אחד? מה הולך פה? איפה אני נמצא? אני אפילו לא יודע לאן ללכת, אני פשוט הולך. חכה שהוא ייתן איזה תגובה. לא. חזרתי לבוקום. מה? אני סתם פשוט, אין לי שום זיכרון בנוגע ל... אוקיי.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
דלת משמאל, אוקיי, דלת משמאל. מה יקרה אם אני... למשל, אני הולך על דלת משמאל. מה קורה פה? עדיין אין אף אחד. אוקיי, מה עם פה? עדיין אין אף אחד. מה הולך פה? זה...
There was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer.
אוקיי, אז אנחנו הולכים עכשיו לחדר של הבוס. מה רשום שם? לא לשנות בלי בלי להתייעץ עם מנהל הלוח המחיק. אוקיי. קומה 404XX. מה עוד הולך פה? Everyone is unique. כולם מיוחדים. אתה יותר מיוחד מכולם. מה זה? זה רווח. כמות השקופיות שבשקופית הזו. זה אדיר. זה סתם כאילו. אוקיי. לעשות ננעלות אחרי וזה קריפי בטרוף.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
אוקיי,
office.
לחדר של הבוס. פה? אקזקיוטיב מנג'ר זה הבוס שלי? זה בטח המשרד של הבוס שלי.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay, מה הולך פה? וואו. טוב. מה קורה עכשיו? אני מרגיש כאילו נכנסתי למלכודת. תוציאו אותי מפה. אוי, אני לא יכול לנחש אפילו מה הולך לקרות לי. צילו.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
מה קורה פה?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
יש פה יציאה.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Whoa.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
אולי כדאי שאני אלך?
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
אוקיי, אני לא הולך למות, לא בא לי למות. נלך לכיוון שהוא לא רשום עליו escape.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for. Nope, still on board with death.
אם אני אכנס לפה הדלתות בטח ייסגרו אחריי, שם הדלת לא נסגרה. יואי, יש פה רעש, שקט. שיט! Okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
אני חושב שאין לי ממש ברירה, נכון? אני לא יכול לחזור אחורה. אני יכול לצאת מפה? לא. אוקיי. ועכשיו.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many
Holy
individuals
shit, the
reduced
creepy.
to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it.
Ken.
He couldn't accept it.
לא
His
נכנס.
own life in someone else's control? Never.
לעולם לא.
It was unthinkable.
בדיוק.
Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
לא.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
בדיוק. איך אני עושה את זה? שתיים. איפה שלוש? זה בטח שלוש. עכשיו ארבע. איפה ארבע? אני רוצה להשמיד את המקום הזה. אני נלחץ על המספרים לפי הסדר ובטח זה ישמיד את המקום הזה. כן. 1, 2, 3, עמדתי. מה זה? מה יקרה אם אני... מה קורה אם אני הולך לפה?
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
בדיוק. Holy shit. מה קרה? זהו? זה היה המשחק?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
לא נראה שזה הסתיים.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine.
זה היה קצר.
Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp?
בדיוק.
What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him.
לא, העיקר שאני בחוץ.
Knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go.
בדיוק.
No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
אוקיי.
Stanley felt the cool breeze,
אני לא יכול להזיז את העכבר, זהו, אני בלי
the
שליטה.
feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
קול, מגניב.
This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Stanley was happy. ייי. רגע. מה? מה? רגע, מה? כל מה שעשיתי. מה?
All of his co-workers were gone.
מה?
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
מה קרה פה עכשיו?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
אוקיי, אם אני לא קרה, אוקיי, בסדר.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
מה הולך פה?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
אוקיי.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong
רגע,
foot here.
אתה מדבר איתי עכשיו?
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
קפץ לי, אני בורח.
Why? I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important.
No.
Stanley walked through the red door.
לא, לא, לא.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
לא נראה לי.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nope.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
למה אתה כזה עצבני?
There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place.
מה?
Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
אני רוצה לקפוץ.
Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback.
אוקיי, אין בעיה. אני מקשיב
There we
לך.
go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed?
לא יכולתי ללחוץ על אף אחד מהם חוץ מהחמש.
It's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version.
Okay.
To be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with
Okay,
this
אני מקשיב, אני מקשיב.
Let's take a look.
Leaderboard? Good old Neil, Skid, Bola, Hoggers, Mr. Hayes. אוקיי. אני האחרון. בוא נלך מפה, אני לא...
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
אני לא יכול לחץ...
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting.
אוקיי.
You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you?
לא, זה בסדר.
Let me boot it
אני לא
up.
חושב שיש לי אופציה. או, מה? באמת טוען אותו.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger.
רגע,
You
מה?
click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail.
מה?
It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to
Ma.
keep notes on your experience.
אוקיי, אני לא הולך להציל אותו.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
גם
If
וגם.
it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game?
Okay.
Pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes. This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
אוקיי, מה אנחנו משחקים אז?
Well, Stanley, is this any better?
מיינקראפט?
At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here, no, here, and then...
אוקיי, אתה ממש גרוע בלבנות בית, ראיתי...
See, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete.
תפתח לי את הדלת.
Stanley, look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy.
אוי, תהיה בשקט, אתה לא יודע
But you've
לבנות
only
שום
seen it from the
דבר.
outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable. Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It
No.
could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond.
Ma.
Diamond everything. Yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
אוקיי. אוי, נו, אני רוצה לברוח. אוקיי. מבין שאין לי ממש ברירה פה.
It looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
לא?
Oh, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
בדיוק מתי שהזומבים הגיעו. הוא הציל אותי מהזומבים. אוקיי, משחק חדש. פורטל!
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Oh, okay. There's a portal!
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking. Forte.
אני יודע את זה. שיחקתי פורטל.
Genius. No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games. And I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience.
Marvelous!
Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game if it makes it any richer for you, but as for me, I've had enough. So...
What? אוקיי. מה הולך פה? הוא פשוט נטש אותי? הוא פשוט נטש אותי. הוא עזב אותי פה. זה מלחיץ. אוקיי. בוא נמשיך ישר פעם. אוקיי. מה אני אמור לעשות פה? אני חושב שאני מוצא את הדרך שלי בחזרה למשרד. אוקיי, אז לא. או וואו, אין לכם מושג כמה זה קריפי. אני כזה. אני מגיע רק לאותם מקומות. לאן אני אמור להגיע? וואי. מה אני אמור? אין לי מושג מה לעשות. הלכתי לאיבוד. 400. אור! רגע. מה הולך פה? מה הולך פה? מה זה כל הבלגן הזה? Whoa.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion.
Wow.
That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon.
Wow.
I can wait.
אני יכול לזוז? אוקיי, אני חושב שאנחנו נסיים את זה פה. כן. אני חושב שאנחנו נסיים את זה פה. זה היה אחלה משחק. תודה שצפיתם. שיום טוב. להתראות.